Hi, I'm Ingrid. I'm an independent rescuer, and I stumbled into rescue because I was living in a neighborhood where there was a lot of dogs and cats on the streets, or they still are. And I started picking up cats, and then my first dog was a boxer in Compton. She was roaming around the streets in Compton, and I had never picked up a dog from the street before because I didn't know what to do with them. I knew if I would take them to the shelter, they would most likely die. So I just thought it would be better to leave them in the street. But this boxer had a big red clump hanging out of her butt, and I didn't know what it was, and picked her up. And it turned out that she had her uterus hanging out of her, and the vet thinks that she was either raped by a dog or by a human. So since she was a purebred boxer, the Boxer Rescue of Los Angeles was so kind to take her and find her another home. And then the second dog I picked up was a little Shepherd mix, and he was roaming around in my neighborhood. I ended up finding the owner, and he told me he doesn't want the dog, I could have him. And a local police officer took him. She also is a rescuer, and found him a home. And then I found my pit bull, and my pit bull started my addiction to pit bulls. He was in East LA wandering the street, and I couldn't resist him. I picked him up, and I tried to find a rescue group for him because I was living in an apartment where I wasn't allowed to have dogs, and no rescue group was willing to take him on. Everybody was full, and nobody would want to take a pit bull. And one rescuer actually suggested to me that the most humane thing to do would be to take him to a vet and have him put to sleep in my arms, because he would never find a home anyways, and he would be killed for sure in the shelter. Come on, lady baby. And I come from a country where we don't kill animals in the shelter, and we don't have animals roaming in the street in these kind of great numbers like in this country. And so there was no way I could take a young, healthy, nice dog to the shelter or to a vet to have him put to sleep. So I begged my landlady if I could keep him in the backyard for a little while to find him a home, and she agreed. And after about 3 months of trying to find him a home, I was too much in love with him. He ended up sleeping in the bed every night and coming inside the house. He did great with my cat. And I ended up moving for him so that I could keep him. He's been with me for 4 years almost now, and as I said, he started my addiction to pit bulls. I also love Shephards. This little girl right here, she's her name is Lady, and she's probably a husky, not a shepherd, a husky corgi mix. She was living in South Central on the sidewalk of her owner's house. The owners didn't want her anymore, so they didn't want to have her inside the yard or inside the house, so they just left her outside. But she was so loyal to them that she never left. And I had rescued a pit bull and a Labrador in the beginning of December when I encountered her the first time. And I couldn't take her that day because our car was already full with the other 2 dogs, and I didn't have the money or the space to put her anywhere. So I told her I would come back for her when I get a chance, when the other dogs get adopted. It took me 6 months to come back for her, and she was still there waiting. And it's been about 3 months ago now, and she's going to her new forever home next week, which is a beautiful home with a nice lady and another dog. She's going to be an inside dog. She's going to sleep on the couch or in the bed, wherever she wants to. She's going to get daily walks and a huge yard to play in. So we're very happy for her. And the reason why I specialize in Shepherds and Pit Bulls is because those are 2 of the breeds that a lot of people do not want to rescue or cannot rescue because they take a long time to get adopted, particularly the Pit Bull breed or the Pit mixes. And maybe we should show Billy, who is one of our little Pit Bulls. Baby Billy, he's the youngest one of the group, and he was rescued by a student, a female student named Billy, from South Central by USC. He was laying underneath a car at the baby age of 8 weeks. People ask me, why do I do this? What makes me happy about this? Of course, the first reason why I do this is because the animals need help. The wonderful thing about it is when you find a dog, and most of my dogs come from the streets, so often they have not had very happy lives before we rescue them. And the most amazing thing is when you start seeing them to wake up. I call it wake up, when they come from a bad situation and then they start getting happy, they start to play with toys, they start to relax, they start to give kisses, they know, they go to the park, they go to the beach, they start learning all kinds of different things. They go on car rides, they sleep in a warm bed, they receive training. We professionally train a lot of our dogs before they go up for adoption, before they go into their new homes. The other very rewarding thing is that once they find their forever home, to see the people that adopt them, their new forever parents, to be very happy with their dogs and to see the dogs in the families, in the new homes. And we always conduct follow-up visits, so we stay in touch with our adopters and our new parents of the dogs. And we receive pictures a lot of times and phone calls to get updates how the dogs are doing. And it's beautiful to see them in their new homes. That's how I feel it, because it should be their forever home. I mean, as Mary was stating earlier, the adopters have to go through a very particular process. They have to fill out an adoption application that's very lengthy, and we visit their home to make sure it's safe enough and proper for the dog. And we spend a lot of time with them, often hours. Sometimes we set up different days of several meetings before the dog actually moves into the new family, into the new home. We bring the dog over, we leave the dog at the new home for a day visit or an overnight visit, so that the dog can get used to the new home slowly, and that the families can spend time alone with the dog to see if it's really the right fit. So we take a lot of time and energy to make sure that the new home is the forever home. And in most cases, so far, the dogs have been staying in their new homes, and everybody's very happy with them.